Hello and welcome to the Amateur Football YouTube channel. Guess who I've got on my YouTube channel tonight? I have the one and only Brother C, Brother Clinton, founder, content creator of Rootz TV. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just happy to be on, man. On enemy territory at the moment, so I've got to be mindful. You never know, man. Might have something up your sleeve, innit?
Let's not talk about like the 5-a-side or the 11-a-side tournament just yet, or like the game. I know that you don't really have the football ability naturally yourself, so you've got to let other people talk for you, which is cool. I totally understand that. I have to respect like a hustle. So you know what, fair play, fair play.
Yeah. Listen, it's not my fault. I know a plethora of teams, but anyone, when I put the tweet out, there's people chomping at the bit to get involved. You know what I mean? I suppose that goes to show that how much I'm loved within the game.
Actually, before we begin, could you kind of tell us more about Rootz TV?
Yeah, of course, man. Similar to yourself and within this grassroots space, creating content, sharing people's content and shining a light on grassroots football. Not only like I don't always just focus on like the big teams. I want to shine a light on the lesser known teams and just make sure that everyone gets the fair treatment and make sure that everyone's kind of the star of the show, whether it be small clips on Instagram or Twitter, or quite recently now I've launched the website. People can go and share their YouTube stuff as well. So again, everyone's kind of getting that fair treatment. It's not just the FC Dons of this world. It could be the dog on duck who scored a worldie or something funny that's happened down your block. Do you know what I mean?
Cool. And what's your website called? Come on now, like I'm actually giving you an opportunity now to plug your website. Come on.
So it's quite easy. It's roots-tv.com. So yes, again, roots-tv.com, and you'll be able to find it. At the moment, it's in its infancy, so I've only had it live literally less than a week. So I've just been uploading stuff that's been going on throughout this last week, and then from there, obviously, I'll start doing more of my own on YouTube. Of course, I do stuff of my own content on Instagram, but YouTube's a whole different baby in itself. So yeah, at the moment it's still in its infancy, but hope to kind of progress that as time goes on.
Cool. Nice one. Nice one. So the reason why I've got Clinton on this platform is we are talking about, well, it's kind of Black History Month. We've kind of spoken what it actually means off camera, and we don't want to kind of go into that too much, but let's like say that we kind of want to give homage to like players within our generation, and that's either Premiership, Championship, League One, League Two players, and we are just going to talk about our own individual top 5 players. I don't know your players, you don't know mine. Actually, let me kind of correct myself. It's not really top 5 because there's like so many players that could have been within our 5, but I think well, for me personally, it's kind of 5 players that actually meant a lot to me when I was watching. Well, when I still watch like football, they were kind of like the pioneers of like certain things, and I remember where where I was when certain players were like doing like their thing. I mean, how did you choose your 5 players?
Mine's just based on like the impact that they've had throughout their time and the impact that they've had on my life. Like, I don't know if we're going to go into it straight away, but people that will know me away from grassroots, they'll already know before even watching this what an obvious choice is going to be. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just gone off that basically. Some people might be like, how's he got in there? But, it's just like more personal to me than, the bigger picture sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah. So we are kind of focusing on strikers right now. So I'll let you start as like you are the guest. Who is the first person that you would like to talk about?
Well, the first one I'll talk about is, again, going back to what I was saying before. You know, if anyone knows me, I'm a Newcastle United fan. I know I haven't got the Geordie accent, but part of the reason why I always support Newcastle United is because this guy here, he's local to my area, played for my local non-league team as well, came through the ranks, played for QPR, and then made his big move to Newcastle United back in the 90s. If you haven't guessed it by now, I'll give you. In fact, I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. He's got a cousin he got two cousins, in fact, they found out later on in life that were related to him that played for Man United and West Ham respectively.
I know who it is, already.
Who?
Come on now, Big Les, Big Les. You know what I'm saying? The moment you said Newcastle, I'm like, it's Big Les. It's
Yeah. Sir Les.
Sir
Sir Les. Sir.
Les. Yeah. Let me get that right.
Yeah.
Let me get that right. So yeah, so can you talk us through one of like the first games that like you saw him play, and literally, yeah, again, can you kind of expand in terms of what Sir Les Ferdinand means to you?
I can't remember the first game. I mean, the one that sticks out in my mind is the game against Everton. I mean, he's always had good games against Everton. He's always bagged against them, especially in Newcastle colours. But as I said, like growing up, someone coming from my local area, Hayes in Yeading, or Hayes back in the day before they merged with Yeading, played for Southall as well, and then obviously played for QPR, which is pretty much my closest professional side. And then, as I said, made the big move to Newcastle. And at the time, that was when I was getting into football. So to see a guy come from your local area to then go and play for Newcastle United, at the time, that was very exciting. Obviously, you had Shearer, Asprilla, Ginola, Gillespie, all of those players there. And he was just doing bits. And I'm just obviously glad that he didn't stay for longer. But Carl Short, he's always been my idol. And I had the pleasure of meeting him quite a few times now through work and other bits. So he's always been a gent. They always say don't meet your idols, but that's a load of rubbish because he's not changed at all. And again, now he's just showing that his growth as well. Like he's now obviously at boardroom level, which is, in itself is another talking. There's not many of us at that senior level. So to have like my idol go from playing for the team that I support now for 20 odd years to being at senior level at his local club, my local club, it's just phenomenal. So again, he's just a true role model on and off as well. And even what he come out with recently when he was talking about Black Lives Matter and the whole kneeling stuff and how it's just kind of lost its emphasis, just shows how much of a leader and he's willing to kind of speak up for what he believes in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I totally agree. I remember growing up, Les Ferdinand was one of the first players who I remember could literally header a ball like, as if someone's kicking it. He would literally so much in the air, and he was big, he was strong, and literally making that like move to Newcastle. Shearer was actually there as well, and like there was kind of like a lot of debate, like are like those two going to work together? They're very similar players, but again, Ferdinand was deceptively quick, very very strong. He should have got more England caps.
Yeah, that's another thing that people always say. I mean, you could argue that there was a lot of people around at the time. You had obviously Shearer, who was leading the line. You had Sheringham that played alongside him. You had the likes of Fowler, Wright, Ferdinand himself. I'm sure there's others as well, more maybe. So again, you could say like, look at the amount of strikers that they had. It's hard to get through. But if the leading guy, which was Alan Shearer at the time, was playing with Ferdinand at the time, and Shearer's always said that. I think he's always said that their strike partner. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if he's saying like if he's playing with him at the time, he should have played with him in for England as well. But we won't get into that.
Yeah.
We ain't got that tough, but yeah.
Cool. Okay, so my like first one, and again, it was kind of really, really difficult to even narrow it down. So the first person I want to talk about is like someone that played for Leeds. Didn't really play for Leeds for like that long, but again, just made a huge impact.
Tony Boa.
Come on. Yeah, listen, you know what?
I already knew, bro. I already knew because them two, the crossbar's never been the same since, bro. Them ones off the crossbar, boy.
You know what? When like a volley is named after your surname, like everyone used to say, I'm gonna try and do a Yeboah. That's when you know that you've literally hit a certain level, and that was kind of one of like the first African players that I could not only relate to, but also brought so much joy to the game. And growing like up in Leeds, I won't call it segregated, but there was like a lot of racial tension. And Yeboah came in. I think he came from Germany. I don't know what club he came from, but again, it was just out of thin air. And I'm all right. So I am a Liverpool fan. So that so how he hit that volley with his weaker foot against David James, that still baffles me to this day. And I'll never forget his celebration with his two hands up in the air, and like he was, like a proper African man. He was just kind of going all, and literally, I remember that day so vividly. And he kind of did something similar against Wimbledon as well. And he was like predominantly like a left-footed player, and because I'm like left as well, so literally that's because something that I could resonate with. And again, like he was always smiling, and like the Leeds fans took to him as well. There were like times where I would actually see him in the in like Leeds shopping centre, and like he was just mobbed, but again, like he was always smiling, like there was kind of nothing that kind of phased him. And growing like up as a kind of teenager, then it kind of gave me hope that wow, like I could, if I can work hard enough, I will get recognized for my talent. So yeah, Tony Yeboah for me. I mean, do you have any memories of Mr. Yeboah?
No, obviously just those two goals really. Like that's what he was known for. Like those two off the bar. I can't remember where he went to after that, but as you said, to have a goal after you, I think he's the only other person that I can think of off the top of my head that has a move or a goal named after him. The other one being Makaleli. Do you know what I mean? The Makaleli role. Like to have something named after you because of your name, just shows that you've left your mark on football.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah, 100%. So who's your second striker?
So my second striker, I don't know if this comes. I don't know if I can cheat and put this as a 2-for-1. Already, I'm probably giving the clue away, but
I know exactly what you're gonna say. I know exactly.
So obviously, it's still on the back of Newcastle, but it's mainly Man United. And probably would have guessed it by now. It's got to be Andy Cole with Dwight York. As I said, if I can do 2-for-1, then I'll put that as a pair. But them two together, like I had a mate called James back at school, and obviously we was like the two blokes in there, predominantly white at school. And when we played football together, I think I was Cole, he was York.
Oh.
And yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm sure there's loads of people watching this who can relate. Yeah, them two together, the partnership in Premier League football. Like I don't think there's any better, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, what a partnership! What a partnership! I think. Do you know what I mean? The amount of stuff that they won together at Man United, the amount of goals they scored. York was more of the kind of linchpin, the one who's kind of setting up Cole. Cole was just that deadly marksman. You know, Champions League winners, Premier League titles. I'm sure they won FA Cups. I'm sure they won it all. And true to the game, and even hearing York's story on how he joined Aston Villa. Did you know he got spotted out in the islands by it Who was the manager at Villa at the time?
Ron, was it
I think it might have been
Ron Atkinson at the time? Was it?
It might have been. But, oh no, I think it might have been John Gregory. Gregory.
Yeah.
But yeah, got spotted in Islands in a friendly, because Aston Villa used to go over to the islands just to play in pre-season friendlies, and got spotted, got a trial back of it. Wow. The rest is history. Really, he played for Villa, scored back loads of goals for them. I think signed for United for about 12 mil. Then obviously went on to score for them, and then obviously we know the Corey. It won't take too much because I'm still a Newcastle fan, so it's still actually. But obviously we got Ferdinand off the back of it, so I can't be too gutted by it. But legendary partnership, them two.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, Andy Cole was actually on like my list, and I remember when Newcastle first came up to like Prem, and I think that was the season where Andy got about 42 goals or something. It was like it was crazy, but like he was that striker that would miss a lot, but like he would score like 4, and then like the next game would miss 3, and then go and score 5. And I remember I was actually in Nigeria, and I came back, and that was when Andy Cole signed for United for, is it 7.5 million or something? And I'm like, huh? That's a, it's like that's a lot. Like, it was crazy, and yeah, like how kind of Cole really just, again, a lot of people doubted his like caliber for whatever reason, and kind of going to United, it literally just kicked him on that extra level, and like he was so determined, and he's like also from Nottingham as well, which I was like born in Nottingham, so again that's a bit of a connection, and like just kind of how he just he was just so hardworking, he was determined, and of course when like York came, I didn't really see that coming either, but they just worked so well together. It was I can't say.
So what's your
sorry?
No, who's your pick, man? Who's your next pick?
Oh gosh, okay, so my next pick, so this guy is a legend. Is he at the age of 20, 21? Like he was still kind of knocking around like the non-league level, I believe, and probably fought.
Who's gonna say him?
I mean, I'm saying like it's
I can't think of else now.
You can't really. I'm saying we were probably born like around at the same generation, so like it's again like an iconic player like Ian Wright. Come on, like Ian Wright. He a definition of a grafter. He really had to work his ass off to actually get to even just to get to Crystal Palace. Just enthusiastic, young, hungry, talented, aggressive, and again, he kind of had that swagger as well, which you didn't really see a lot of, from a kind of goal like scorer. I always remember if you could have took an early shot and like if it was like a kind of high lob, that's a typical Ian Wright type of goal. Like trying to kind of catch the keeper cold. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just so instinctive with everything that he did. And of course, Palace legend, Arsenal, again, he just kind of just created that kind of cool environment. And again, I still remember the Tribe Called Quest song "Can I Kick It?" And again, Ian Wright was just focal. Was like he was like he was just such a focal point in that advert. And that's actually that advert can play now and still be relevant.
Yeah.
And again, like he's a legend, an absolute legend. And again, what I kind of like about Ian Wright is that he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. Like he's like not afraid to cry. He's kind of not afraid to show his emotions, even when he's doing his kind of his like job as a kind of pundit. You can tell he's just so emotional in everything that he does. He's just so authentic, and I think black men in like general, it's kind of something that we don't do a lot, in terms of show our emotions. And I think Ian Wright definitely did chip away at that taboo, especially in probably at the latter end of his career. But yeah, what do you think about it, Mr. Wright?
Yeah. I mean, you think you pretty much take words that I can say really. Basically, yeah, just proper legend, man. Uncle Wrighty. What more can you say? Still to this day, it's like I like how he's evolved as well as a pundit and as a guy as well. Like, sometimes in the older generation, people just kind of die out and all the rest. Not die out physically, but just they're not with the certain times. But he seems like he's still down with the kids, interacts with a lot of the younger players, still has the respect of the older players. He's that cool uncle that everyone wants to get on with and wants to replicate as well. So yeah, definitely, definitely my choice for on my list as well. But now I've got to think of someone else now.
Yeah, but then it's back to you. It's back to you.
I mean, I was going to say this guy anyway, but similar to Ian Wright, he's made his mark on and off the pitch, showing at his later years. He's been around, made a couple trips back home to White Hart Lane, buying his trade in Scotland, and obviously his charity work and the stuff that he's done, especially during his time at Sunderland. It's just on the awards and all sorts. So if you ain't guessed it by now, it's Jermaine Defoe. I mean, even when he first started, when he burst onto the scene, goal scoring machine. I mean, even I did a post not too long ago about his time when he was at Senrab over in East London. And obviously, as you know, Senrab's one of those clubs that hand out many a star. Ledley King, John Terry, Leon Knights played for him as well. J. Lloyd Samuel, God rest his soul. Do you know what I mean? But it's articles between him and Leon Knight, like who is the better goal scorer. And the chairman at the time, in fact, the chairman still now currently, said that Leon Knight was the better goal. But just long story short, it just goes to show like how he's come from there. Then he obviously went to West Ham, Bournemouth, Tottenham, won a trophy at Portsmouth, I believe. Went Canada for a little bit, Sunderland, and now still at 37, 38 in Rangers. So yeah, proper legend, man. And obviously everything he's done with the Bradley Lau Foundation, and he's got his own charity work as well. Just goes to show what a gent he is off the pitch as well.
Yeah, an amazing player, and also an amazing person as well. Someone, I think there was a documentary about him a few years ago. It was probably a few years ago, and we.
Oh yeah. I think it was on ITV or something. Like that.
Yeah, and literally kind of gave us a bit of an insight. He kind of went back home because he was looking to actually build a couple of houses for his family, and of course, with his kind of backstory as well, he's literally gone through a lot. He's literally gone through a lot. So I definitely, I definitely respect everything that he's actually doing 100%.
So come on, then. You got next?
Yeah. So next one. This guy tormented Liverpool. I remember we played the team that used to play for at the time, Marseille, in like Europe, and
my next one as well.
Sorry, come on, hey, this. Listen, I still remember how he bodied Stephen Finn, and like he just leant on him, and Stephen Finn couldn't go anywhere, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, who's this guy? And then all of a sudden, Chelsea go by him, 24 million, I believe. It's the legend, man, Dda Drogba.
Mm-hmm.
Dda Drogba. He also changed the style of football. He changed the look on football, I'd say in Europe, definitely, in terms of playing with that one. Playing with that one up front, he had everything. Speed, strength. He was prolific. He would bully defenders. He would bring people in. You know, even his hairstyle, like, I'm not gonna say I wish I had hair like him, no. But like even like how his hair just flowed in the wind. It was like he was just unstoppable, and literally he gave Liverpool so many problems. And of course, Mourinho got, I would say, definitely like the best years, and he literally transformed how definitely the kind of Premiership era, how like people play as the one up top. And again, like, he would just body players all of the time, and very very prolific. I still remember the game against Barcelona when the referee had an absolute mare, and like and then after like the game he kind of went on camera and said it's a disgrace. He was literally that's but again that is Drogba. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve, an absolute leader. All of his charity work as well. Like like kind of doing now. He had stints in Galatasaray and also in the States, and again like he did well. So and he kind of came like back to Chelsea as well. Um, absolute legend, legend. Dda Drogba. Let's talk about
Okay.
Dda Drogba in terms of how like what like he meant for you.
Dda Drogba. I remember him just more of a force against. I remember he used to torment Arsenal's defence. So anytime he used to go up against them, he was always due for a goal or a decent performance at least. So yeah, um, that's how I remember him. But now I feel like he's lost all his power. Now he's cut his hair, man. Do you know what I mean? He's
Well,
cut his hair, shit, bro. Do you know what I mean? That's why you gotta respect the hair, bro. You gotta respect. You know, bro. He had like the gelled, slicked hair. You gotta respect the hair, man. The hair brings you wisdom, it brings you power. But yeah, Drogba, man. But talking about players that change, um, someone close to Chelsea or not too far in the same sort of region, London. Um, I'm not going to just big him up too much. Thierry Henry, bro.
okay.
Thierry Henry, game changer.
I mean,
Like you don't look. It doesn't matter who you support. He just exactly. It doesn't matter who you support. Everyone wanted to be like him. I did a video not too long ago, like best player to play in the Premier League, and the amount of Thierry Henry people was just overwhelming. Just like he's one that changed the game in terms of strikers. Like everyone tried like him, opening up their body and doing like the nice finesse pass into the corner. His pace absolutely ruined Jamie Carragher that one time.
yeah,
He ruined
yeah,
he ruined a lot of defenders, to be fair. But that goal against Tottenham as well, where she literally twisted up their whole team, just to name a few. Even when he came to Arsenal, that goal against Leeds, I don't know.
you did Leeds, yeah.
So yeah, just Thierry Henry, what a legend, man. There's not look when people when the clubs put a club statue outside of their ground, you've done bits. Do you know what I mean? There's not that many people that can say they've got a club statue. I mean, look at my club. The only people that have really got one is Jackie Milburn, who had the goal scoring record up until Alan Shearer took it, and then Sir Bobby Robson. So those are the three for us. Arsenal, I believe they've got Bergkamp statue, Henry. I don't even know if there's a statue for Wright. I'm sure there should be, but I don't think there is. I haven't seen one. They've got one of the old manager. Is it Chapman? Is it Herbie Chapman? Something like that. But anyway, as I was saying before, like you must be special if they got a statue. And Thierry Henry absolutely tore it up. Bro.
Yeah, 100%. No, I mean, again, I think that kind of inside forward position again that was kind of pretty new at the time, and I know it was coming in or like playing like on the opposite side of your foot. I think Henry again just literally made that his own. I remember the game against Enter where like he scored a hat trick. Again, like again he was at the time Arsenal. It was like Terry Henry and the Arsenal 10. It was literally like it was kind of all about Henry, and rightly so. Like he like literally gave that team swagger. Again, like the goals, the like flair. And of course, let's not forget he handballed into the goal against France against Republic of Ireland, and that's kind of forgotten because Henry is such a god. It's like, oh, you know what? Ah, it's cool. You know what?
Oh, listen, it's not that forgotten because my mate's an Irish guy, and he doesn't forget about it at all. In fact, he makes various videos referring to that. So it might be forgotten in France, but definitely not forgotten in Ireland. Don't worry about that.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
But yeah,
Cool.
who's your guy? Who's your next guy?
So my next guy, and I think this is probably my fifth. Because you've like named a couple, and yeah, he like this like guy. Is he a Chelsea legend? I'm not too sure. But again, he like had a rocket of a foot, of a right foot, very small, stocky, and again one of like the only players that kind of literally went into management and actually did pretty well.
Jimmy Floyd.
Jimmy Floyd.
Man, Jimmy Floyd.
You know what?
Hey, listen. You just laugh back there,
Yeah, you know what? You can't sleep on Jimmy. You can't sleep on Jimmy. Like he had no backlift, and he could again like from like 0 to 100, you wouldn't know where like the ball had even gone. And you know what I liked about him? He had a mean face. Like even though he was smiling, he was mean. And like as a centre back or as a defender, you think, you know what, this guy just like what's wrong with him? And again, like he like he wasn't big, like he wasn't tall, but he was strong, he was sturdy, he was stocky, he was quick, he was strong. Again, I don't know if like the Chelsea fans would actually class him as a legend, but at his time at the club, he's got some important goals, really, really, really important goals, and he literally went into management, as you know, and he like started from like the ground up, and he managed to get the QPR job. So that's kind of literally something that we have to applaud. And again, he's like someone that I saw that literally went into management and thinking, okay, you know what? He's started from the ground up. I'm sure that there's other players, other ex-players, other grassroots managers or players that think, okay, you know what? I have a chance as well. And he hasn't done a lot recently, I don't think, but I would kind of literally love to see him kind of back in the English game, because again, like he kind of did a few bits of commentary and punditry, and again, he's got a wealth of knowledge, and again, it's kind of someone that we should be looking up to 100%. I kind of think so. What do you think about Jimmy?
That is cool, man. Obviously, his partnership was probably second to Cole and York with Good Johnson. I remember going to a talk of his, and he was talking about how, well, obviously when he initially signed, and then obviously he left on bad terms. I think was it Mourinho or might be Ranieri was trying to ship him out at the time, but he stayed and proved his point because I think they had signed. I think that was at the start of the Abramovich money when they signed Kezman and all the rest of it, and he just stuck around and still started banging in goals. So yeah, Jimmy Floyd, man, what a guy. Only bad thing I've got to say about it is I met him once and he called all Newcastle fans deluded. So yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's okay. That's probably for another video. But anyway.
Yeah.
So who's your final choice?
My final choice is he didn't play in England, unfortunately, but he was a goat. He is a goat. Um, a Brazilian goat, the original
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Ronaldo, the
Oh.
original Ronaldo.
Oh yeah.
You
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
do you
Okay.
know what I mean? The
Yeah.
guy, could finish, pace to burn. I remember seeing a Bobby Robson documentary and basically said that he won in the league, signing from PSV Eindhoven to Barcelona. And the finish that he had, like, I know him for the finish of that, the one step over, take it around the goalkeeper, boom, it's nice. Just always gave the keeper the eyes, that one. Um, yeah, what a guy, bro. And that's why I say the original Ronaldo. Not disrespecting Cristiano, of course, but when you ask these millennials about Ronaldo, they say, "Oh, Cristiano." I was like,
Well,
"No, there was a Ronaldo before him, and he was
yeah.
pretty darn good. He was pretty darn good." So, yeah,
Yeah.
my guy,
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. I think Ronaldo put like the fun back into football, and again, like he was just so fearless. And especially at the time, well, again with like all of like the Nike adverts, that was really like the competition, Nike versus Adidas, and like Nike had all of the Brazilians, and it was just like, Ronaldo was like the face of Nike. And again, winning like the World Cup a couple of times, or like a few times, um, got like going to Old Trafford and getting clapped off, like and that's like not a lot of players actually do that. Listen, I mean, again, I'm not gonna say to these millennials, look, like back in my day, but please, like anyone out there, like the original Ronaldo, please, like the R9, please, you you don't sleep on those football boots. You don't sleep on those football boots, and like you don't sleep on Ronaldo. He's legend. That's just legend. Like I don't know what else I can say. Legend, absolute legend, absolute legend. You know what? I think yeah. I think we are done. Of course, there's kind of so like many other players that we like could have named. And again, we could have pay like homage to like all like strikers. And again, we can have to celebrate in terms of what we have achieved. We are, but like struggle is not over. The struggle is not over. And we can have to highlight what we are doing as like people, as a community, and to really kind of champion what these elite players are doing. Is there anything else that you kind of want to chime in with?
Um, no, not really. I think we covered all the top ones that probably a lot of people would say. There might be like the odd one that people might throw in there, but if you're talking about like the top elite strikers, especially over here, then people are always going to say the likes of Ian Wright, Drogba, Colin York. I say Ferdinand obviously because of my new connections. Henri, Ronaldo, like there's no one else that really springs to mind. You might think, oh, it definitely has to be in there. There might be someone who might kind of come into there, but if you talk about top five in terms of what they've done and how they changed the game and on and off the pitch, it's got to be those five right there, man.
Yeah, no, great stuff, great stuff. Clinton, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. Also, as well, let's kind of just put it out there. We are gonna have either a five-a-side or an 11-a-side game, right? Like this is like not lip service. Like let's just kind of just tell people out there. This is, people have DM me saying, "Oh, are you at war with Rootz like TV? I've been like seeing your stories." I'm like, yes, yes, I am at war with Rootz TV. Yes, I am. So like, can you just talk about it a little bit more if you can?
Yeah, so basically, I'm all out to smoke the amateur footballer, uh, put him out of business, and then you basically become my worker. And you can work for TV. In fact, that should be the special stipulation. If I win, the amateur footballer is no more, and he is now he's basically dog's body. He works for me. That should be the actual stipulation. I'm actually down for that. So when this actually arrives and people see it, I want you to clip it up or someone else to clip it up and use this bit and say, "You look, you know, he is now going to work for Rootz TV. Don't worry, I'll give you a nice little role. I'll give you a nice little corner office in your own room. I'll give you like a good salary, which is £0 per hour. I'll sort you out right, man. That's it. So yeah, that's about it. And I know you said you had people in your DMs. Boy, my people have been saying, when can we get this action? I'm like,
no, it's you know, we are trying to get it organized. So you know, we will probably put like something out when we've got concrete dates. But no, honestly, it's been absolute pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thank you for like jumping up, and like please people go and check out Rootz TV on Instagram, on Twitter, the website. Your YouTube is coming as well, right?
coming soon, very, very, very soon, indeed. So now I've got a website now. I need to start feeding the beast. But again, it's now the hub. Currently, it's the hub to find all grassroots football, especially the ones that's recorded as well. So you can't do it all. But again, people that are out there that are taking time out to film them and put together packages, you can find it all under one roof rather than having to go to this team or this page or that page. It can all be found in one venue.
Cool.
That's Rootz TV.
Nice one, nice one. Guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that, the good stuff. I'll be doing a lot more live in interviews as well. So honestly, thank you to Brother Clinton for coming on and also supporting me as well. It does mean a lot. It does mean a lot. So thank you.
No worries, man.
So guys, thank you again for like watching. This is the Amateur Footballer signing out. I salute you.